So again, just in case you're not clear what just happened here, I'm just going to go back here to double click here on this array. I mean, not the array list right here. And I'm going to run this in debug mode so we can see it. Let's do a debug as job application. And let's step over to see what's going on. I've got this list. Right now this list is empty, and it looks like this looks like an array that we've seen before. And it's telling you the size right now is 0. Okay. Let's step over. I represents this int stream, and it has data in it. It's hard to see that now, but I'm going to create a breakpoint right here where student is. Let's step over here. And if you notice, E right here is the number 1 because we said to start it from 1. Okay. I then take E plus 1,000, and that'll make 1,001. Then this first name plus would be first name 1, last name 1, and the first person is going to be 21 years old. If I step over now, let's look at S now. See what it says, 1001, first name 1, and grade is equal to 21. Let's step over one more time. Step over. I'll say resume. Okay, this is the second time in the loop. Therefore, now you should see the number 2. Okay, the nice thing I like about this for each method, I don't have to worry about an index, meaning that in some of the for loops you have to do where I is less than 30 colon I plus plus, initialize it. Okay, so I'm using this functional style here to declare basically to create a loop. Okay, which is pretty cool, and I think it's cool, at least with the language. And for those of you who might have seen something like this in JavaScript, this is new to Java 8. Okay, so let's step over. Let's just do it one more time just to see it happen 3 times in a row. Let me click here on resume. And now this is the 3rd time. I'm finished with this breakpoint, so let me double click here just to get rid of it and just click here on resume. And that's why you get all this data. So you should have got from 1000 to 1029, 1001 to 1029. Okay, so this is our fake data that I want to display on the next on the table view. But the first thing we're going to do is create a DAO, a nice little package. I don't want to say package because package is a keyword, but a nice little class that can just fit into our page without having the clutter of all of this. And again, when I say all of this, if I had to connect to a database, it might be 50 lines long, 20 lines, or 30. I don't want that to be on the actual logic where we keep the logic for the screen, which is basically either our view or our controller. We don't want this logic to be there. Okay, so this basically just take care of our data. So again, I realize eventually in the next video I will create a DAO that connects to a database. So what I want to do is let's just go here, refactor. I want to call this pseudo student data. Okay, let's click on finish here. That might take a few seconds. I'll pause this video as I'm waiting for this to complete. All right, so here the rename process is finished. Now the next step is we want to take this pseudoDAO and we want to populate the table. So what I want you to do here, let's go back to the GUI. Let's go back to student controller, and our logic will go here, meaning that when the user clicks on the search button, it will execute that code. So in fact, if I can go back to the driver student DAO, I need all this code right here. I just need this code right here. Let's put it here. Now, if you remember what we did in the previous example here, when we did this example, we ran it here, we know all this data comes back. And that data is right here in this list. We're going to take this list and populate that table view with this data that comes from here. And the whole idea is, look how clean this code is. I could literally copy all this code here and put it onto this controller page, But again, I want you to imagine if we were really connecting to the database. This could be 50, 60 lines long of coding. Could be less also. But the whole idea is I don't want that logic into here. I want to be able to just instantiate it, call this DAO, say find me all the data, and just return it here automatically. And that's the way it should work to keep this area, your controller, to keep as clean as possible. So in the next video, we will take this list and we will populate the data, meaning that once we run student main, we'll click on search, and this will be populated by all the data we just saw from the previous example when we're doing the driver. Okay, with that, good luck and good coding.